My name is Karen Lackey, and I'm from the ESC of the Western Reserve. I'm here today to introduce a short video segment called the 4 C's of Building Resilience in Children. The 4 C's is a very simple framework that encompasses trauma-informed responses, resilience building, and especially developmental relationships with your students in the classroom. This will be an introduction and lay the groundwork for our upcoming video and discussion series on managing challenging classroom behavior. The tips, tools, resources, and activities for the classroom that you will receive and learn about in this discussion and video series will lay the groundwork for developmental relationships, as well as developing the 4 C's framework of control, connection, competency skills, and contribution in your students. This will help you break the fight, flight, or freeze trauma cycle in children. So why we are here? We are here obviously to give you as many resources as we can to build resilience in our students and also build resilience in yourself. We are going to give you a quick trauma review on the background because we want everything we do and you do to be done in the context of a trauma-informed environment. Every time we train, we like to give you tools, skills, strategies, so you'll get some checklists, you'll get some easy-to-use resources, and you'll get a couple frameworks that are going to continue to work not only now in a COVID environment, but once you get post-COVID and you start to want to build things like we were talking about in the beginning, if you were on developmental relationships, keeping those connections going. Because we have found the information you're going to get today, much research has shown that it not only affects behavior in a positive way, building resilience and developmental assets, but it also increases academic outcomes. So not only do we want to do that now, obviously, because the kids are coming back after a long time off, but we're also going to continue to do that in the future. So what we are going to do next is we are going to give you kind of a framework on building response. And what this is called, it's easy to remember because this is something we want you guys to do by remembering what we call the 4 C's. Because the 4 things you can do in a classroom with an individual student and just in general that helps build resilience. The first one is rebuilding connections. Again, you'll see these relate a lot to our symptom, but rebuilding connections. Any way you can connect with a student, anytime you can reestablish any connection of them with other students, with important adults in their lives, and with their purpose, reconnection, number 1. Second is competency skills. And what competency skills are the heart of the matter that we're going to give you a lot of information on in a little bit. And what competency skills are when we have the ability to increase our skills in problem solving, we increase our ability to self-calm, we increase our ability to take a breath and settle our minds. So in a trauma instance, we're able to go engaging to our prefrontal cortex and to our memory stores. So one of the most important things in competency is what we call co-regulation. So I'm going to give you an example. Co-regulation to me is an important one. So here's an example I'm going to give you. So say, for example, it's in the middle of COVID and you haven't seen friends, family for a while, and you get a phone call, and whatever that call was just made you angry, just ticked you off. Like you hang up the phone and you're like, think about it. What is the first thing we as adults do? Okay, what do? Take a breath, right? We breathe. We find ways to calm ourselves in whatever way we do. Then what's the second thing we do? We reframe it. Now, wait a minute. Okay, is this just me? Am I reacting to this? Like, am I off? I don't know. So we reframe it. Let me see if I can think about it from their perspective. We empathize. It's the second thing adults do automatically. And then what's the third thing we do? Is our spouse comes walking down the stairs like, all right, hang on, I gotta run this past you. Let me know what you would do in this situation. Am I crazy here? So we run it past somebody, so we co-regulate. So that is the most important thing, I think, in one of the competency skills we don't, and because we often don't have time to do with students, is we do automatically things that they don't know how to do. They don't know how to take that breath. They don't know how to reframe a negative feeling. And they certainly don't know how to co-regulate, because what do we normally do with a student that's out of control? Go down to the office, go out in the hallway, go sit over there until you can get control of yourself and then come back. That doesn't teach them any skills. So this is a really, really big one we like to concentrate on, is those competency skills. Because teachers are the most important people that model that skill and teach that skill. And we know it takes time. But in this environment, like I said, if we really want to engage those kids' brains fully and get them out of the trauma response, you know, this is one of the most important skills we want you to know. Okay, next is contribution. Anytime we want to increase resilience in kids, any way we can give them a way to contribute. It could be assigning little responsibilities in a classroom. You know, who's in charge of checking desks? Who's in charge of helping, you know, disinfect, or whatever you can name. So again, it also comes along with contribution is giving them a sense of value and worth. So even letting them know that their presence in the classroom, this is their purpose. Glad to see you back. That gives them a little sense of purpose, which is contribution. Then the last one we're going to throw up is going to be control. This one you can do in a lot of ways, but simple in the classroom, like my favorite example is to give them control, is to give them predictability. So having the same schedule, which a lot of you probably do over and over again, make sure when they come in, they know what's going to happen first, second, third. Gives them a sense of control. One of the simplest things is, do you have a working clock? It's a big thing. If for those kids who are trauma response, knowing what time it is really important to them. Not only knowing their schedule, but knowing the time. And then last, bigger concepts. This is one of the big things. We just had a training on youth-led prevention, which is one of the programs we run. You know, control and contribution are two of the biggest things that we can do to help kids, because when you give kids a voice, if you even ask them what they think, if you even ask their opinion on how they might restructure something in the classroom, or how if their needs are getting met, that is a huge sense of control that really gives them a voice. And that amount of voice really helps build resilience.